Hello and welcome to Raju Notes channel, your pit stop for weekly current affairs updates. The updates tailor-made for students taking all kinds of competitive exams like UPSC, civils, defense and placement interviews. Please subscribe to the channel and stay updated every Sunday. The 14th edition of India-Singapore Joint Military Exercise commenced on 27th of July at Jodhpur. Exercise Bold Kurukshetra will continue till 4th of August. The exercise will be conducted as a tabletop exercise and computer based war game aimed at validating operational procedures for mechanized warfare. It will culminate in an equipment display by the Indian Army. The objective of the exercise is to enhance interoperability and joint training capabilities of both armies under a United Nations mandate, thereby strengthening bilateral defense cooperation. The exercise will witness the participation of 42nd Singapore Armored Regiment and 4 Singapore Armored Brigade and the Indian Army's Mechanized Infantry Regiment. Exercise Bold Kurukshetra 2025 will further consolidate the strong defense ties between India and Singapore and foster greater mutual understanding and collaboration at both tactical and strategic level. India and United States this week marked their maiden space collaboration with the successful flight of GSLV rocket that placed the Earth observation satellite NISAR in a precise orbit. NISAR was jointly developed by ISRO and NASA. According to ISRO, the GSLV has successfully injected NISAR in designated orbit. ISRO's GSLV F-16 injected the synthetic aperture radar satellite into the intended Sun Synchronous Polar Orbit SSPO after a flight of about 19 minutes and around 745 kilometers. The successful launch of the satellite will mark a significant milestone in the history of the Earth's observation missions due to its dual radar capability, the L band and S band systems, which will provide precise data about the cryosphere, ecosystem, and solid Earth. The primary objective of the mission are to study land and ice deformation, land ecosystems, and oceanic regions in areas of common interest to the scientific communities. The Lok Sabha has given its approval to the statutory resolution regarding the extension of President's rule in Manipur for the further period of 6 months with effect from 13th of August 2025. Minister of State for Home Affairs Nityanand Rai moved the resolution seeking approval of the House for the extension of President's rule, which was imposed in Manipur on 13th February 2025. Replying to a discussion on the resolution, Mr. Nityanand Rai said that it is imperative to extend the President's rule to maintain peace and normalcy in the state. He said only one incident of violence took place in which one person lost his life since the imposition of President rule. He added that not a single person lost his life in last 4 months in the state. The Indian Coast Guard and the United Arab Emirates National Guard Command this week signed an agreement on maritime security and safety cooperation in New Delhi. It is aimed at enhancing bilateral maritime cooperation and contributing to a safe, secure, and a sustainable maritime environment in the region. This is the 10th such agreement with Coast Guard agencies of friendly foreign countries, prepared to strengthen professional linkage between the two coast guards across core functions including maritime search and rescue, combating transnational maritime crimes, maritime law enforcement, marine pollution response, and joint capability building. In a statement, the ICG said that these efforts reflect the shared commitment of both nations to strengthen institutional linkage and promote collaborative engagements for maritime safety and security. India has sent a consignment of humanitarian assistance to the people of Syria. In a social media post, Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson Randir Jaiswal said that the consignment consists of 5 metric tons, which includes essential life saving medicines, including anti cancer, antibiotics, and anti hypertensive to Syria. He also added that India is continuing humanitarian assistance to Syria. The International Monetary Fund (IMF) has revised its forecast for India's economic growth to 6.4% for both 2025 and 2026. Earlier, in its April 2025 World Economic Outlook, IMF had projected India's GDP's growth at 6.2% for 2025 and 6.3% for 2026. Reaffirming India's position as the world's fastest growing major economy, IMF contributed the upward revision to a more benign external environment than anticipated in its April forecast. For India, projections are based on the calendar year, with the agency noting that India's growth projections are 6.7% for 2025 and 6.4% for 2026 based on a financial year data. Myanmar's National Defense and Security Council (NDSC) this week formed a new union government and State Security and Peace Commission. According to Myanmar radio and television, the union government is led by U Nyo Sa as a prime minister, and the State Security and Peace Commission is chaired by Senior General Min Aung Hlaing. The NDSC also decided to annul the order transferring the sovereign power to the Commander in Chief of Defense Services. Zaw Min Tun, a spokesperson of Myanmar State Administration Council, said that NDSC has decided to end the state of emergency to hold general elections. In February 2021, Myanmar's then acting president U Min Swe had declared a 1 year state of emergency and transferred sovereign powers to the Commander in Chief of Defense Services. The Philippines President Ferdinand R. Marcos will be on a 5 day state visit to India from 4th of August. Mr. Marcos will be accompanied by First Lady Luis Aneret Marcos and a high level delegation including several cabinet ministers, other dignitaries, and senior officials. This would be first visit of Mr. Marcos to India since the assumption of office as President of Philippines. The Ministry of External Affairs in a statement said that India's relationship with Philippines are an integral pillar of the country's Act East policy, Vision Mahasagar, and vision of the Indo-Pacific. It added that the forthcoming visit of Mr. Marcos coincides with the 75th anniversary of India-Philippines diplomatic relations. The cabinet has approved a total outlay of 6,520 crore rupees, including additional outlay of 1920 crore rupees for the ongoing central sector scheme Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana during the 15th Finance Commission cycle. Briefing media in New Delhi, Information and Broadcasting Minister Ashwini Vaishnav said that the approval includes 1,000 crore rupees to support setting up of a 50 multi-product food irradiation units under the component scheme Integrated Cold Chain and Value Addition Infrastructure ICCVAI. This also includes setting up of 100 food testing labs with NABL accreditation under the component scheme Food Safety and Quality Assurance Infrastructure FSQAI. The approval also includes 920 crore rupees for sanctioning projects under various component schemes of Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana during the 15th FCC. Union Communication Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia this week said that Elon Musk led Starlink has received a license to launch satellite internet service in India, and a framework for spectrum allocation is also in place for a smooth rollout. Addressing the mobile conclave on the occasion of the 30 years of mobile telephony in New Delhi, the minister highlighted that India's digital journey in last 11 years has been extraordinary. He added that in the last decade, digital access from remote villages to metro cities has empowered citizens and made India a global leader in affordable and inclusive technology. He mentioned that the country has now 1.2 billion telephone connections and internet subscribers have increased by 286% to 97 crores. The union minister further asserted that the 96.6% drop in mobile data rates, India has become the cheapest data provider in the world. Mr. Sindhia added that the 5G network coverage has reached 99.6% of the districts in the country and 30 crore consumers are taking advantage of it through 4.74 lakh 5G towers. Slovenia has become the first country in the European Union to ban all weapon trade with Israel over its war in Gaza. The arm embargo was announced by Prime Minister Robert Golob after government session. It was said that it was moving ahead independently because the European Union was unable to adopt concrete measures due to internal disagreements and disunity. He added that the government had not issued any permits for the export of military weapons and equipment to Israel since October 2023 because of the conflict. The move of the government comes 2 weeks after the country declared Israeli ministers persona non grata. Earlier, Slovenia's president and parliament passed a decree recognizing Palestine statehood, following in the steps of Ireland, Norway, Spain. Last week, France, the United Kingdom, and Canada also announced that they may recognize a Palestinian state. India launched the first set of 4 development projects under the India UN Global Capacity Building Initiative, aimed at supporting countries of the global south in meeting sustainable development goals. The projects were officially launched by the Secretary West in Ministry of External Affairs Tanmay Lal. According to the MEA, the India UN Global South Capability Building Initiative is a natural extension of India's development partnership efforts. In its first phase, the program will support rice fortification and supply chain management in Nepal with the help of World Food Program, develop digital health platforms in Zambia and Lao PDR with UNDP support, train officials in census preparedness in Belize, Barbados, Saint Kitts and Nevis, Suriname, and Trinidad and Tobago, in collaboration with the UN Population Fund, and provide vocational training in South Sudan with UNESCO support. The selected training courses are scheduled to begin in September 2025 and will be carried out throughout designated Indian training institutes under the ITEC framework. 4 astronauts from the United States, Japan, and Russia have successfully reached the International Space Station ISS as part of NASA's Crew 11 mission. The team docked at the ISS on 2nd of August at 11:57 a.m. IST after a 15 hours of journey. They lifted off aboard the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket from NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida at 9:13 p.m. last night. Upon arrival, Crew 11 joined 7 astronauts already aboard the ISS. During their 6 month stay, the Crew 11 astronauts will carry out a variety of scientific experiments and technology demonstrations. These include simulating lunar landings, testing eye protection methods for space travel, studying how plant cells divide in space, and many others. They will take over from the Crew 10 team, who have been in the station since March. Crew 10 is expected to return to Earth as early as Wednesday. Well, that's all, friends, for this week's updates. See you soon next Sunday on the same channel. Till then, take care. Bye bye.